Hey, shalom, shalom. It's the brother Abaya Buff from the DC Church coming at you, giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shema Shai by Shema Kakadash, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai being whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, by Shemini in the name, recall many spirit, Kodash being the holy. These are the names and these are the names and the powers that are come to you in order to profess the 100% truth, and Lord's will seal the elect's faith. Shenya Kabaga Wala Rakaza Kwenye Naba Aith, meaning the double honors to the elders and apostles of JMS in these times, whom the Heavenly Father had enlisted the 100% truth to, and Shalom with Barakam Abakar, Shasha Allah, peace and blessings be upon the elect of the nation of Israel, and to the men out there that's pushing this word in sincerity and in truth. To you I say Shalom with Barakam Atham, peace and blessings be upon you. Now without further ado, as you can see, the title says sexual deviancy will soon come come to an end. And this is basically like, it's gonna be a real quick video, but this is just on male to male homosexuality, because that's the most common, but then you also have male to female, but female to female homosexuality, which both are just as defiant as the other, but one is a little bit more. There's not really a difference truly, because both are bad, but one involves penetration and on a what's the word I'm looking for? One involves penetration on a essentially it's someone who's not supposed to be penetrated. I couldn't find the correct terms to define that, but nevertheless, a male is not supposed to be penetrated, because we are the dominant. The way that the Heavenly Father created us and the anatomy within us, we're created to be lords, and women are recessive, so they receive. All right, and you think about it like a socket. You got a plug and then you got the socket. I mean, this is simple mathematics. This is really 1 + 1 is 2. But nevertheless, again, this is part of the reason why videos like this is important, because some people may not understand or know why, homosexuality is against the Heavenly Father. So, I'm just going to break down a couple of details behind it on why it's defiant, but then also that it's going to come to an end. Lord's will soon, because this is the same reason why Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed. And the thing is, homosexuality is a very, very strong spirit. It's a very adversarial, strong demon, and it's so strong that it can cause levels of delusion that in other cases wouldn't never even necessarily be there, but it's a high level of delusion and denial within the homosexual community. Okay, nevertheless, here you go. And the analogy that I was given is that you have a plug and then you have a socket. Two plugs can't go together. Two sockets can't go together. You got a plug and a socket in order for you to conduct power. All right. There's no power in homosexuality. There's only power and deviance and the levels of defiancy of the act. All right. And Salaki bros, I'm a little bit tired, trying to the best of my ability to process and think of words before I say them, to convey this message the best way that I possibly can. So please bear with me. Anyhow, moving along, I wanted to play this video, and then I also wanted to go into a couple of details regarding this.
12% of men who have sex with other men 1 or more times a week have problems where they are not able to control their bowel movements.
Because
Well, why? If it's healthy, if it's perfectly healthy. And you
Okay,
know that's
so-
true.
Let's not conflate it with being black. Otherwise, you'd have to defend Rachel Dolezal.
Well, there's no. Well,
Would you defend her?
Well, there's no defending crazy. That's crazy. But
Why is that
Hold
crazy?
on. Because she was a white woman that said she was black.
Yeah, that's a man saying he's a woman.
But let's back up.
If you're gonna say that a man can just be a woman, why can't Rachel Dolezal just be black? You got to be consistent.
Because she's white.
Okay, because it's a man.
No, but hold on. I get it.
You know I'm right.
I get
You know
it.
I'm right.
No, I don't agree. And this is not a matter of right or wrong.
But it is.
Hold
It
on.
is. This one is.
Let me tell you.
Why isn't Rachel Dolezal black?
Because she's a white woman.
Okay, because it's a male or it's a female.
What?
Acts with
Percent
love.
of
Yeah, and it really sucks that you got men, on the bitter end of this spectrum that are just in complete denial. And you know for a fact that he's able to put those two comparisons together and understand that 1 + 1 is 2. But when it pertains to the wickedness and the forwarding of that wickedness in that specific act, there's a lot of passive this passive mindset to just, oh, well, this is a different situation because it revolves sexuality. So, it has to be classified in a different way, which is complete false. All right. And that's just a way to justify your deeds and your actions, which, will never be acceptable. And that's part of the reason why homosexuals, they don't like dealing with what's right and what's wrong, and it's always going to be a matter of what's right and what's wrong. It's never going to be a matter of just, how we feel. Lord he doesn't give a F about how you feel. It's about what he told us to do and what he told us not to do. And one of those things that are being said, and it's just, Hakim, this shit it's just so disgusting, man. So you think of the factor of the physical enactment of homosexuality. It's just filth. It's just filth. And then the thing is, just because you got a hole don't mean you need to stuff it. It's like you fucking animalistic monkeys. The hell is wrong with you, bro? The Lord, he created these things to have their own operations. All right? And just because you got a hole does not mean you got to stuff that bitch. And that goes for male and female. And then on top of that, you had General Yohana talking about you can have sexual intercourse anally, which is a complete abomination, whether it's being conducted on male or female. There's operations. And just because a woman is a receiver, it doesn't necessarily mean that is an accessible hole or a place to penetrate. You got to be mindful of that, because the thing is, the anal cavity has tons of feces. It's where all of the decomposed matter in your body essentially is filtered through and goes through. And again, this is very basic mathematics, but nevertheless, being the fact that is where all of the waste goes, you got to understand, when you put your phallus into a place like that, wherever your phallus goes into and it is repetitively going in and out, the hole where we pee out of, it naturally receives the things inside of it. Like, that's just how it's, and now you're letting fecal matter go into your phallus hole, and that's what causes diseases. And that's why amongst homosexuals are the highest rates of HIV, STDs, because it's not a cleanly act. If it was clean, it wouldn't produce any form of STDs or STIs or any dysfunctionality within the body. You're not capable of holding your own, fecal matter. You're not capable of holding those things in. It's just fucking ridiculous, man. It's just disgusting. It's just, even the thought of it, it's just very defiant. So I'm actually go inside that actual book, which we're gonna go to Leviticus 20th chapter later. But let's go to real quick Revelation chapter 11 verse 8. It says, "In their dead bodies," I'm gonna read it in the NIV. "And their dead bodies will lie in the public square of the great city, which is figuratively called Sodom and Egypt, where also the Lord was crucified." Right. So when you think about the Lord and how he was crucified, I think about the standards in which the Lord upheld. And the standards in which the Lord upheld, the standard in which the Lord upheld is completely disconfigured, disannounced, disbelieved, disapproved, and completely ignored. You know, and this is detrimental to everybody. If you're not upholding the Lord and everything that he resembles, then that means you're not upholding life. Because he said he's the God of the living. He has no pleasure in death. The Lord doesn't like killing, but he has to do it. It's a necessity. You know, because the Lord is good. He requires a lot of you good motherfucking spirits because you just can't get it right. Okay? And then let's go to Romans chapter 1. We're going to start at 18. It says, I'm going to read it in the NIV. "The wrath of the Most High is being revealed from heaven against all the ungodliness and wickedness of the people who suppress the truth by their wickedness." Okay, and you see that. There's a complete denial of, oh, well, we're not going based off what's right and what's wrong. And then when factual statements are stated, there's this cognitive dissonance. You can see the physical resemblance of cognitive dissonance in these individuals who practice that lifestyle. Just all caught up on your freaking words. Because you know for a fact it's wrong. And the thing is, that lifestyle comes with, because I'm not speaking from experience, but I can only really guesstimate that, you know, it comes with a lot of pleasure and comfort within doing those sexual acts, you know? Because the thing is, you're fulfilling a demon. That demon is getting exactly what it wants, and it feels good for that moment, you know? Because these, not just talking about the average homosexual, but we're also talking about these individuals that deal with little boys and little girls, okay? Which it's all along the same lines. Because that's another thing too. You have a common consensus that people will say, oh, Leviticus 20 and 13, where it says men shall not lie with mankind, is talking about little boys. What the fuck are you talking about? Talking about, oh, two grown men can be with each other. Now, you show me where it says that in the Bible, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to pull out the Hebrew for the word mankind. These motherfuckers are tripping bad. So, anyhow, it goes to say, verse 19, since what may be known about the Most High is plain to them because God has made it plain to them. Okay? Now that's another thing too. It's not rocket science. Like, understanding what's right and what's wrong is just like, oh, okay, it's very theoretical. You know, and well, it's not even a theory. It's just very practical. That's the word I was looking for. Okay, it hurts when I do this to my body. Maybe I shouldn't fucking do that. Okay? My body doesn't function properly when I'm on this substance. Maybe I shouldn't do that. You know? I'm eating certain types of food and my body is not functioning properly. I'm always lethargic. You know, I got high cholesterol. My breathing is impaired. Maybe I shouldn't eat these things. It's like it's very 1, 2, 3 with the body. The body will let you know. The Lord set it up to where our bodies are very, very, very hyper aware. So it's really easy for us to determine what's right and what's wrong based on what the body communicates. Okay, so it says, for since the creation of the world, the Most High's invisible qualities, for since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen. Right. So these individuals, as much as they want to deny the Heavenly Father and be like, oh, there's not a Lord, you can't say that, bruh. You know damn well there's a God up in heaven. And your disbelief, just because you say you don't believe, it's ineffectual. That's Romans chapter 3 and 8, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Shall that disbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid. Man, watch out. Anyway, it says, being understood from what has been made so that people are without excuse. So you don't have an excuse. And that's part of the reason why the Heavenly Father put the Spirit on his men to make videos like such, so that there's no cloak for your maliciousness, okay? Verse 21, for although they knew the Most High, they neither glorified him as the Most High nor gave thanks to him. And their thinking became futile, and their hearts foolish, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Okay, and what's the heart? It's the mind. It's the lab. Your process of thinking. And it goes to say, it says, although they claimed to be wise, they became fools and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images made to look like a mortal human beings and birds and animals and reptiles. So, and when you changed the image of the Most High, when you changed the image of the Most High to these mortal beings, you became a mortal man. And that's part of the reason why the Heavenly Father allowed death to consume you. All right. And within death consuming you, the ways of death have proceeded with that. All right. And that's part of the reason why it's going to say, it says, therefore, God gave them over to sinful desires, to the sinful desires of their hearts, to sexual impurity, for the degrading of their bodies with one another. Okay. So sexual impurity breeds death. All right. And it breeds uncleanliness. And it says they exchanged the truth about the Heavenly Father for a lie and worship and served created things rather than the Creator, who is forever praised. Amen. All right. Now, again, you went to serving these gods, and when you serve these gods, you're essentially having to bow down to them. And in order to bow down to them, there are certain ritualistic practices that you have to indulge in. And that's why a lot of these individuals who are homosexuals, they have a strong spirit. They have that Baphomet spirit on them, that Molech spirit on them. Well, truly it's the Baphomet spirit, which is like an androgynous spirit, that's wrapped around the masculine, the emulsifying and amalgamation of masculine and feminine. That's why you have a grown man with a beard with eyeliner on. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Holding hands with another man. It's the spirit of Baphomet. And that means you are in league with this world. And we know that the fashions of this world passeth away, and the triumphant of the wicked is short. It says, because this, God gave them over to shameful lust. Even their women exchanged natural sexual relations for unnatural ones. And that's when the woman is dealing with women, okay? In the same way, the men also abandoned natural relations with women and were inflamed with lust for one another. Men committed shameful acts with other men and received in themselves the due penalty for their error, which is death, which is them diseases. That's part of the reason why you end up with them bumps on your scrotum, okay, or them bumps on your shaft, or you peeing, and if you peeing out blood, you peeing and it fucking hurts. You know, always got an itch down there, always got a scratch down there. Or your backside, you goddamn, it's loose, so you can't even hold your shit in.
Time 20 minutes 23 seconds. Distance 1 mile.
So
Average
like it.
pace 20-23 per mile.
So you just got to keep in mind these things. It's disgusting. And yeah, I got my Nike Run app. I always keep it on whenever I'm doing videos. But we're going to go into the rest of this. This Romans chapter, well, I read that. And then we're going to go to Leviticus chapter 20, verse 13. It says, if a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with women, both of them have committed an abomination. He shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. Right? So you're not innocent if you're doing these things. He says he that committed adultery wrong of his own soul, but also homosexuality. If you're doing these things, you're wrong in your own soul, your own body, you know? And then Leviticus 18 and 22, it says, thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination. So when you go to Leviticus 20,
Pausing workout.
20 and 13, when you go to that word mankind, man, I think is Ayash, and then mankind is Zakar. So let's go to the Ibaryath for this. So you got Ayesha, Ashar. So you got Ayash. Ayash is man. So Wa is an, Ayash is man. Ashar, I think is if. And then the next word is Yashakab, which means lie. Ath, Zakar. All right, so mankind. So Zakar is mankind, meaning the same sex.
Resuming workout.
Right? And this is just proof in the Hebrew language that it's not talking about a little boy, it's talking about men in general. Okay? And mankind really, it really resembles everything that is of your sex, you know? That covers babies, children, and men. Homosexuality is just disapproved entirely by the Heavenly Father, okay? But truly, that was all I had to say pertaining to this topic. You know, I pray that you were edified through this epistle. I got to get back to the goddamn plantation, you know? So with that, I give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Shema, Shabbat, Shema, Kadash, Shin Kabaga, Wala Rakaz, Queen, Abai, Shalom, Barakum, Abakar, and Shia Shalom. Till next time, I say Shalom.